Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a tree root centerpiece for your dining room table. This is a tree root that was cut from a tree that's been down in the woods for probably 30 years. Took a walk out in the woods a while back and I was looking at all the trees down, and there was some really wild, gnarled, configured tree roots that I thought were really kind of neat looking. They had a certain beauty to them, and it's a shame they're just rotting away in the woods. I thought maybe you could bring them back to life and repurpose them for a different reason. Make them into a nice centerpiece on a table. I'm going to show you the process on how to make this. So first we'll go out to the woods and see if we can find some good tree roots to start with. Let's check it out. This here looks like a good example for a centerpiece. It's a root with a little bit of character, a little bit of twist. I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to cut a couple other ones we could pick at home and see which one we want to do. Just set like that on the table, and yeah, I think that's a good example right there. There's a couple more on here I might want to cut too. There's another good root here with some good character. Or if we cut it right here, that makes an interesting piece. It's got a lot of character. Well, we're back from the woods from cutting our centerpieces, and I decided on this one over this one. It just has more character. Now the next step, we want to put them in the oven on a cookie sheet. Set it at, say, 400 degrees, maybe 20 minutes, long enough to dry it totally out, inside and out, and get it ready to be sanded for the next step. Okay, I took this out of the oven a little while ago. It's totally dried out. Now we're going to sand this down and try and get it back to the original grain. Get through all this dead dry stuff and get down to the real nice grain on it. We're going to see if we can use just sandpaper. If we have to, we'll use a Dremel. So. This is all dry. We don't want that on there anyway. We want to get down to the hardwood on it. We'll use a coarse grit here, like an 80 grit, and then we'll go to like 120 when we're done for the final. And really, you could sand it down as low as you want, or you could just cut the thing off and have the centerpiece like this, like maybe clear coat it with something to keep all of this on there. I mean, it's all what you want. But I like getting it down to the original, down to the real good grain. Probably about as far down as I want to go. Once we do the fine 120 grit on here, it'll go a little lower, but that's pretty much the color I want. Once you hit that with the varnish, it's really going to pop out the grain on the wood. So. was actually thinking maybe I would sand down part of it and leave some of it original like this and clear coat that. Maybe sand here, maybe sand the outside here, and leave with the moss there. And then go over with a matte finish clear coat whenever I'm done. And maybe varnish all of this out here. Go up here and stop. Leave all this original in here. And then sand this up in here a little bit and come down and do this here. Leave the mossy areas and leave the inside the way it is. Just an idea. I don't know. Okay, pretty much finished sanding. Now I'm going to go over with this brush and get all, just kind of, it's sort of sanding it, sort of knocking off all the loose chunks. Going a little light on where the moss is at, because I want to leave that as much as possible. I am going to brush on the polyurethane just where we sanded, not in here. And it soaks it in really quick. That's why I'm actually going over it again, and it's still soaking more of it in. We're going to polyurethane this and let it sit overnight, and then we'll clear coat the rest of it tomorrow, and have to let that sit again too, and that should be it. Next we're gonna clear coat this to seal everything in. I'm going to use crystal clear spray paint, and we're just going to go light coats on it. Try and get all the angles, but don't soak it. It looks really wet now, but it's going to dry and it's going to soak in. So I think that's pretty good for now. We're going to let this outside, let the air dry a little bit, and then we'll take it inside. Okay, we're back from clear coating it. As you can see, the part that wasn't sanded and varnished, clear coat just soaked in and kind of darkened the wood up. The part that was sanded and varnished, it glossed it up and it brought out the wood grain pretty good on it. I'm really pleased with it. The last thing we got to do is put these little felt tabs on the bottom so it doesn't mark your table, and that'll be it. So. And that's it. I think it turned out really well. Show all the sides of it here. So, there you have it. A centerpiece made out of tree roots from a tree that's been dead for 30 years, lying in the woods. So.